Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. I just had a chance to play Dead Space 3 demo. Tomb Raider game. Company Heroes 2. Summer Games. I'm fucking pissed! Look at this piece of shit! Swing on a chandelier, press X 3 times, stroke your dick into a fucking mayonnaise jar, and Bob's your uncle, you're out the goddamn door! Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I wanted to bring you another news update. For today, we're going to be talking about Far Cry Primal. We got the system requirements for that, as well as a patch for Rainbow Six Siege, which was released yesterday, which sounded good on paper initially, but there have been some issues with the patch since it was launched. And also, I'm bringing you this video on my webcam today, DSLR. Battery is currently charging, and I've got to leave in about 2 hours, so I didn't have time to wait for that to charge and do the video on there. So today we're using the webcam, but hopefully it looks decent on the C920. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Starting off with Far Cry Primal. We did get the official PC system requirements from Ubisoft. So for the minimum, they're saying Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 64-bit. On the processor side, an i3 550 or an AMD Phenom X2 X4 955 or equivalent. I am happy to see that they are mentioning both sides here. I've seen so many requirements recently where they just don't do that. It's like, just stop doing that. And I think I've mentioned this before, where like they'll mention like just Intel or just Nvidia and they won't mention AMD, or they'll mention just AMD and they won't mention Intel or Nvidia. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, even if you were partnered with one side, even if you were like strongly partnered with Nvidia, or you're strongly partnered with AMD or Intel, it's like, it doesn't matter. You should, in the requirements, that's the most unbiased thing you should be, representing to the general public. Is like, here, this is what you need. It doesn't say you need to be on Nvidia. This is what you need. Nope. If you're on AMD, you're fucked, basically. That's basically what that says to them. If they don't even mention AMD, it's like, you're pretty much fucked if you don't have AMD, probably. So that's never good when they do that. But rambling in 2016, isn't it? Far Cry Primal, they did at least mention both sides in these requirements. For the memory, they are saying 4 gigabytes of RAM. And on the graphics, a GTX 460 1GB card, or an AMD 5770 1GB card or equivalent, which is pretty, that's pretty low spec, honestly, just for the minimum entry on it. But the recommended are quite high. And on the storage also, they are saying 20 gigabytes of space, so pretty big size. But actually, I would have expected more. We've been seeing a lot of more games recently, like 40, 50 fucking gigs. That's, for an open world title, 20 gigabytes in 2016 is... That's pretty small. Coming down to our recommended, though, we are sticking with the 64-bit OSs. On the processor side, an i7 2600K or an FX 8350. So we're seeing the recommended of the i7s there, and an 8-core AMD, which is something we've seen time and time again with these open world titles, and we've also seen it be something that's actually been true in last year, at least in 2015, with a lot of open world games. Those i7s helped us out a lot in open world titles, so see if that continues in Far Cry Primal. It did help a bit in Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3, but I never really felt strongly bottlenecked by an i5 when I've used them in those games. I've never had a major issue. So unless they've done something crazy here, I'm hoping an i5 should still be okay in Far Cry. I don't think it's going to bottleneck too much, but we'll see when it comes out. You never know with Ubisoft, really, do you? For the memory, they are saying 8 gigabytes, and the graphics, here we go. GTX 780 or an R9 280X. Now, that is pretty, it's pretty steep spec. I mean, we've seen that on some games in the past, mostly like Unity. I remember Unity recommended a 780 like a year ago, and everyone like freaked the fuck out about it. It's about a year and a half later now, and now they're recommending a 780 again, which sounds, fairly, mild to me, but I know that's not mild to everyone else. I know that's a pretty high spec, but you should be on a modern card if you're wanting to play this at like 60 FPS, 1080p, or higher than 1080p. You should be on a modern card, not necessarily a 780. But I would, I'd be willing to guess a 760, 770 is gonna be like fine running this game. They are minimum saying a 460, so if you're anywhere in that range, you should be able to play it okay. And if you played Far Cry 3 or 4, unless they've done something insane with the graphics or really messed this game up, I don't see how it's going to run any worse than those games, so we'll just have to see when it comes out. It is Ubisoft, after all. Kurt's texting me right now about Far Cry Primal. He's texting me right now. Oh, God, what's he saying? Oh, God, he said, oh, a 780, people are going to cry. Have you seen how people complain when the recommended specs for the games are not like their GTX 460? Games need to optimize. No, you just need to get with the times. Quote, end quote. So good. Seems like, yeah, sorry, if you're on a GTX 460, it's like, fuck off, mate. Fuck off. What's going on now? What's he... Like, minimum of 2GB of VRAM on new games. Guy was like, games don't need VRAM, just core power. Man, with a 5870 1GB card. Disappointed he cannot play Tomb Raider. And yes, quote me. So there you go. This is going in the video. So basically saying this guy's disappointed that he can't play the new Tomb Raider with a 5870. Like, well, yeah, what do you expect? It's like a really ancient card. I have to agree with Kurt on this. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, I know this is like really like downright snobbery, but I have to agree with him. I agree with Kurt on this matter. That if you have a GTX 460 and then you complain like about a new game coming out because it, you know, is like saying, oh yeah, it needs like a 780 for like the recommended. It's like, well, yeah, it's 2016, man. You need to get a new card. Sorry if that went too far. I do apologize. And now coming up to our second news story of the day before we get out of here is Rainbow Six Siege. We've talked about it a lot. We got another update yesterday. They put out update 1.2, which was an update a lot of people were waiting for. It was bringing in some tick rate and updates and things like that for the server side stuff, as well as being able to set your the server that you connect to when you play. You could set it in a .ini file, which they are going to be bringing into the actual game menus at some point. But right now you can do it in the .ini files. It's still very kind of like crude, and this is only on the PC right now. This patch, it's not on consoles yet because they have to wait for certification with the console, so it seems like they are just quickly rolling out patches on the PC, which is great to see. I'm really happy about that because we've seen with Battlefield 4 in the past, it seemed like they would only put out their really big patches like every 3-4 months, and a lot of that had to do with because they were waiting for certification on the consoles. Apart from like hotfixes on the PC, if something was really broken, they would, you would wait for certification on the consoles, and then they would release the patch to everyone all at the same time, which is, I guess, okay if you want everything to be even Stevens. But meanwhile, on the PC, where they have patches that could be making the game work, we're just sitting here waiting because of some bullshit, like legally certification thing with consoles that have nothing to do with us, really. So that's Battlefield, though, and that's Ramble 2 for this video. But on Rainbow Six Siege, they're not doing that. They're just pumping out the updates. They're just putting it on PC as fast as they can, trying to fix things and getting it working. And then if it works, then if it's certified, then they'll put it out on console when they can. Unfortunately, this patch that came out has been having some issues. Yesterday, when I went on there with my friends to try to get on and test out the patch, we wanted to see what was what. The first thing I noticed was that SLI was not working. They mentioned that here in the article on DSOG, who we use a lot. Definitely check out DSOG, Dark Side of Gaming. We use them all the time on TGW, just because they have so many like gaming news stories every day, and it's all PC, so check them out. But on Siege, the SLI I noticed was not working right away. Kurt mentioned to me that you could flip on AFR2 and it will get it working again, which I didn't bother trying because I was like, how's the scaling? And he tried, he's like, oh, it's not really scaling that great. You get a little bit more performance, but not really that much, and it was a little bit iffy at times, so I didn't even bother, and I've been crazy busy, so didn't even bother doing that or playing it too much, apart from just initially testing that out. Mostly also because we tried to get into a match, and the matchmaking was completely ruined yesterday. I don't know what it was, if it was just if they broke stuff, or there was a lot of people getting on post-patch, or there was a lot of things just because of that day one of the patch. But we had a lot of issues yesterday just getting into a match. Even if we did private terrorist hunt, we were doing some realistic terrorist hunt with just the 5 of us, so it was completely private. We weren't searching for anyone, and even then it was we were getting connection errors and people were getting kicked out of the party and having to restart the game. So that wasn't really good to see. It was not good. It's the worst. It was probably the worst that the game has been since launch, right after this patch. So it really seems like they maybe I don't know, got their wires crossed. Maybe they put a few 1s and 0s in the wrong place within, putting out the patch. So hopefully this gets addressed relatively soon. We are meant to get another major patch at the end of the month, but I'm hoping we get a hot fix pretty soon for this, at least for the server-side matchmaking and the SLI. Those are the two big ones to me right now. There have been a few other little things that have cropped up here, but those are the two major ones for me. I'll have links to all of my stories and sources down below, and if you want to actually check out a good video, I'm going to give someone a little bit of a notice because I've given him a lot of shit in the past for his Battlefield content, but Level Cap has been putting out some really solid Rainbow Six Siege content. If you're playing Siege, he's putting out good videos. Check it out. He just put out one today on the 1.2 patch and the future patch. He lays out everything here. So if you're really, really into Siege like I am, go check out his video. He lays out everything for you. I will link to it down below. And I've given him a lot of shit in the past for Battlefield, but on Siege, I feel like he's been doing a good job, and I don't feel like he's been shilling the way he used to with like EA. I definitely felt like he was having some shill action in the past. I've judged him in the past, I will admit to that, but he's been doing a good job recently. And I know my approval means absolutely fuck all to anyone, but here it is. I just wanted to recommend his video and clear that up because I've just been noticing that recently. He's been putting out some damn good videos, so well done to Level Cap if you by some chance see this. But I will catch you guys next time. I'm going to get out of here now. I got a lot of stuff to do. Got to edit this video and get it up for you guys. And I will catch you in the next one. As far as the room setup tour, I know you guys are waiting for that. I have a couple things coming today in the post. I was waiting for some cable channels for the back of my desk so I could finish the cable management on this side of the room, as well as actually hook up the second PC, because I've been basically waiting for the cable management stuff to get here so I didn't have to do it twice. Work smarter, not harder. Provided to you by Joker Productions. And I'll catch you guys next time. What the fuck? Work smarter, not harder, you fucking cunt. So stupid.